So one of my subscribers asked me if I can make a time management, productivity kind of video on how I manage my time as a content creator and if I schedule certain days to film, etc., etc. And at first, I actually thought, wait, I actually don't really have a schedule for filming my content and editing my content. And so I kind of responded, no, I don't think I'll make a video like that. But actually, when I thought about it a bit more, I actually decided to make this video because as a content creator, I am able to put out at least one video a week, a couple of YouTube shorts. I also do my Instagram, and then I also do other things other than like creating videos on YouTube. Like I have my Etsy store, and then I also freelance TikTok videos for a company. So I must be doing something right if I'm able to get all of this done. And also right now I'm traveling, so it kind of makes it a little bit harder. So I do have a lot of methods for time management, but I'll share those methods later. Right now, what I really want to share with you are 3 important things for you to keep in mind when you're thinking about how to manage your time. So the first thing is know the reason why you are doing things in the first place. So that is related to your vision or your why. A lot of you who watch my channel are entrepreneurs, or you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to start some kind of a business like YouTube or Etsy. And so before you spend time to work on those things every single day, think about why you are starting that kind of business in the first place. Is it because you want to make an impact? Is it because you want to make money? Like, what is your motivation for working on that business? Because the thing is, a lot of times you might not feel motivated to work on your business, or you might just feel lazy, or you might procrastinate and think, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Or you might think there's just so much to do, but I'm so overwhelmed, so I just can't do anything today. But if you know your reason, and if you really, really believe that your business will make a huge difference in your life, then you will be motivated to work on it and to be productive with your time. So I highly recommend doing something that you are actually passionate about. But I also do understand that if you are just starting a business because you need side income, like that's totally fine too. Because maybe you aren't super duper passionate about the business you are starting, but maybe you have the skills to start that business, and you know that with the cash flow, you can use that cash flow to do some significant things in your life. Like maybe you have a goal to reduce your mortgage or something. The next important thing, which is kind of controversial, like I can feel there could be debates about this. If you aren't in a good mood, don't work. That's what I personally believe. In the past, I would just try to push through things and just get things done, and it's okay if I'm in a bad mood. I'm just gonna do the task anyways because I'm a hard worker. I'm just gonna do it. I'm an action taker. So I would do it in the past, but now I think like if I'm not in a good mood, I actually won't work, or I'm going to get myself into a good mood first, which might take an hour to a couple hours, and then I'll start my work. The thing is, especially if you have a business where you are doing something creative or you need to make a lot of decisions, when you aren't in a good mood, you aren't really in the right energy to work. So you might not have the best ideas, you might not have a clear mind to make decisions, and you might have a scarcity mindset when you are making decisions, or you might be doing things to please people, or working on productive tasks that seem productive but aren't really productive, like reading newsletters for education, for example. This didn't really apply to when I was working in my old 9-to-5 job, because no matter what mood I'm in, well, first of all, I'm getting paid for my hours, so I better do the work, right? Like in my 8 hours of the day. But no matter what mood I was in, let's say I'm like in a bad mood, or I'm sad, or I'm upset, I would still do the work, because in my old job, I didn't really have to be creative. It was like stuff that I could just do, like not like repetitive tasks, but it was tasks where there was a certain procedure. I just follow the procedure, and once I do that, then I'm done the task. So I just do that, and I don't use my creativity. I don't have to make super big decisions in my old job. So what I'm saying right now with if you aren't in a good mood, don't work, I think that applies more to entrepreneurs who have a creative business. But also I think that if you are working in a 9-to-5 job and maybe your mind is so preoccupied by something, or maybe if you need like a mental health break, like that's totally fine. And I think maybe you should take a day off or take a couple hours off if you really can't focus. I guess I'm referring to those times where you could do the work, but then you're not really in a good mood, but you could do the work anyways. Maybe you're just kind of tired, maybe feeling unmotivated, or maybe you woke up and then you saw that your friend like made a lot of money and then you like felt really bad about yourself. Like it's those times where not like something horrible happened in your life and you really can't do the work, but it's during those times where you could do the work, but you just kind of don't feel like it. In those times, like I would do things to get myself in a better mood. Like I would exercise or meditate or journal about why I'm not in a good mood, why I don't feel like working, and work through that. And then I would start my work. The next thing is for full-time entrepreneurs. So be okay with doing less than 8 hours a day of deep and significant work. So I recently was talking to somebody who wants to get his book published. So he's emailing and contacting a lot of agents. And he says he works 4 hours a day in the morning. And then in the afternoon, he feels like he needs to continue working or else he'll feel guilty. And what I told him, so I shared the concept of deep work that I learned from Cal Newport, who has a book called Deep Work. And Cal Newport said that you can't do more than 4 hours of deep work a day. Okay, you might not know what deep work is. So there's a difference between deep work and shallow work. So I'll give you some examples. Deep work for me is writing YouTube scripts, filming YouTube, designing Etsy listings, designing the listing photos for Etsy, writing email newsletters, writing video outlines for my video editor, stuff like that that requires my brain a lot, making decisions and being creative. Shallow work, on the other hand, is like me replying to emails, Instagram messages, YouTube comments, me posting on social media, not actually making the post, but literally clicking post or looking for hashtags, checking my YouTube stats, and creating Etsy sales. Also on my to-do list, I usually have a section for random shiz, which is just a bunch of random little tasks that I have to do, like check this thing or check my bank account or do this little thing or send this email to somebody. Like these little things, these are examples of shallow work. And then I kind of think there's like in between deep work and shallow work as well. So that's stuff like video editing, thumbnail creation, sometimes answering YouTube comments if they are really long or someone is asking me a question that I really have to think about, and then also writing a YouTube description. I kind of have to use my brain, but then I don't have to use my brain that much. So I'll tell you my work schedule. Weekdays, when I'm like, let's say I'm at home in Vancouver, I'll usually work from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then I'll eat lunch for an hour. And then from 1:30 p.m. I'll work until 5. So that's like 6 hours of working. And then maybe in the evening, I'll do 1 hour of shallow work or just easy things or things I want to research. You see, out of those 6 hours that I'm working during the day, actually only 4 of them I would say are deep work. And then maybe 1 or 2 hours of in-between work. And then the rest is shallow work. So even though I might be working 6 or 7 hours a day, only let's say 3 to 5 hours is actual deep work, like significant work that where I really have to use my brain and concentrate. On the weekends, I still will work a little bit, maybe 1 to 3 hours, depending on what I'm doing that day, or if I just like need to catch up on things. Because usually I'm a morning person and I'm really productive in the morning, so I like to take advantage of weekend mornings. And for me, I think I generally like to work less every single day, but then I will do a little bit work on the weekends just because it's like a fresh new day and my brain is fresh. So another thing is like I don't count this as working, but when I'm eating meals or exercising or if I'm driving somewhere, I'll listen to podcasts that are like business podcasts or personal development podcasts. Before bed, I also read books. So I don't really count that as working, but it's still kind of like businessy things that I'm doing. I'm just educating myself on things. So I'll use those meal times or when I'm driving, like I'll still use those times to like do things, but I don't really count that as working. Oh my God, I'm dying in this hoodie. I think one of my techniques is batching content. So right now I'm batching content. I'm filming 2 videos in one day. So I didn't want to like change. So I just put the hoodie on, but now I'm like way too hot. I have to take it off. So now I'll quickly go over the different time management techniques, like the methods that I use. So I already mentioned batching things, doing things that are similar all together, because then you only have to set up once. Your brain is already kind of doing that thing already. It's already thinking about that thing. So just batching tasks in general. The other thing that I use every single day is time blocking, or some people call it time boxing. And I actually made a way more in-depth video on how I do time blocking or time boxing. But basically you just write down the hours of the day and then you block in the times that you're going to work. It's so much better than just writing a to-do list, because when you write a to-do list, you for me, it just feels like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do, I'm so overwhelmed. But when I do time blocking, I can predict, or I guess, how much time a task will take. So I just block it in, and it makes my to-do list a lot more manageable. The next thing is something I use every day as well, and it's the Pomodoro technique. So you work for 25 minutes uninterrupted, and then you take a 5-minute break, and then 25 minutes uninterrupted, 5-minute break. The other method that I use, it's not really a method, but just something I do beside my time blocking, is I'll write down 3 things that I must accomplish that day. And if I finish those 3 things, then that day is like successful. So I'll put like a check box and then the thing beside the time block. Another thing that I do when I really need to focus is I will turn off the Wi-Fi off my phone for like the 25 minutes for the Pomodoro, and then maybe I'll turn it on for 5 minutes if I really want to check my phone, and then I'll turn it off again for the 25 minutes Pomodoro. And this way, like, I can really focus, I don't get notifications, and if there's anything super duper important, someone can call me. A concept that I learned a really long time ago, but that has really stuck with me, is the 80-20 rule, which is called the Pareto principle. And it basically means that 80% of your output is a result of 20% of your inputs. What that means is a lot of the times our most important tasks, like maybe it's only like out of my entire day, like the 1 hour that I am making my YouTube video or something, that is the 20% input that will give me 80% of the results. Another way to think of it is, if you look at your wardrobe, you will wear 20% of the clothes in your wardrobe 80% of the time, and 80% of the clothes in your wardrobe you will wear 20% of the time. So this concept applies to like a lot of things in life. Like, just Google it. Like, it's super fascinating. But that is also something I would think about when I'm thinking about, what do I need to do today? What is the task that will get me the most results or produce the most significant impact on my business and my life? So I know in this video I've been talking a lot about how to manage your time, but I also want to point out that before I actually start my work, I will sort of get myself into, I will do prep work before I start my work. So for me, that's meditating and writing out my to-do list and staying fit. So exercising, I like running in the mornings. So this is the stuff in my morning routine that I do every day before I start my work, because if I don't do those things, I don't feel grounded and I don't feel like I can start my work. So it's only after I do my morning routine, then that's when I feel like, okay, I'm like ready to do my work. I'm a big fan of morning routines, and I really do think for me it helps with starting my work with the right mindset and feeling focused and grounded. But if you're a night person and you work better at like midnight, schedule your things around it. I know some people are night owls and they can do their best deep work at night. So just whatever works for you. I'm not saying you have to be a morning person. Whatever works for you, just schedule your things around it. If you're not productive in the mornings, schedule coffee with your friends in the morning. So in the original message that my subscriber asked me, she asked me how I schedule like my content creation. And I don't really have a schedule. Like, I don't film on Mondays, edit on Tuesdays, Wednesday I do this, Thursday I do this. I kind of do it whenever, but it works. Some days maybe I have like 2 meetings and I know I'll be drained from the 2 meetings, so then I won't do my YouTube on that day. So I schedule my YouTube basically when I have finished the video outline and I know I don't have to do any other like energy draining things that day. And obviously I do have deadlines that I made for myself for my video editor. Like, I have to finish filming the video and uploading the video for my video editor and making the video outline 1 to 2 weeks before the video is supposed to be posted. Ideally 2 weeks, but these days it's been more like 1 week because I've been traveling. It's been harder to do things. So I kind of have a deadline, and then I just schedule my things around it based on how much I'm using my energy those days. So I would love to know in the comments, do you agree with the things I said in this video or not? And do you have any tips for time management? Maybe I can try them out as well. I mentioned in the video that I'm a huge fan of time blocking and I do it every day. So make sure you check out this video because I explain how exactly you can start time blocking.